Welcome back to Courtroom Chronicles, and trust me, this one is wild. Today we're diving into People vs. Julie Fong Fan, a Michigan case that starts with simple bond violations and spirals into something far more serious: open disrespect for the court itself. Imagine being out on bond, lying repeatedly to a judge, and then calling into a podcast from jail to joke about it. That's exactly what you're about to see. This is a defendant who treats her case like a game, until the moment the judge completely shatters that illusion. Stay locked in, because this judge doesn't just deliver rulings. He delivers reality checks, the kind that hit harder than any sentence. What unfolds next is a lesson in how fast freedom disappears when trust is abused.
Julie Bombashell.
Your Honor, I appreciate the court's accommodation. I had an opportunity to speak with Ms. Fong Fachan. I discussed bond violations that have come to the court's attention since Ms. Fong Fachan's last appearance before the court. Ms. Fong Fachan.
Well, that, as well as the continued lying.
Of course, Your Honor. And Ms. Fong Fachan is going to apologize to the court. She's going to admit that what the court has been made aware of, her participation on a video podcast.
Okay, let's just get it all right, Mr. Warren. Here's the stupidity of this individual. I lock her in jail because she was lying to me and violating her conditions. One of her first calls from the jail is to a podcast. Am I right?
That's correct, Your Honor.
But then gets here and runs a ruse that she's really making the calls regarding her two children. Then, so not only does that then go on social media, there's then another one on social media shortly after when she was arraigned, where she was violating her bond condition at that time. I've yet to figure out why she doesn't have a medical marijuana card if that's what she wants to do. But she doesn't, and then just continues to use. Lied to community corrections, then lied to me. So she gets put in, then makes within that week at least 41 calls that we could see, but there were actually additional ones. Then can't wait a day after being released. Violates my order again.
And Your Honor, that is my understanding of where we are today in its entirety. And Ms. Fong Fachan admits to all of those things. She did go into custody. She placed upwards of 120 to 130 phone calls, one of which was to a podcast. And I think that demonstrates to the court that her statements that she learned her lesson in custody, it may hinder that because Ms. Fong Fachan was laughing, joking on a podcast.
Oh, yeah, she was. She thought it was all a game.
Of course.
And guess what? You can think it's a game. It's a game with me that you will never win.
Understand.
Ever. No, I don't think you do.
Can't speak.
No. Your Honor, that was the first week she was in custody. The following week, she lost phone privileges. She was released from custody, at which point she came before the court, apologized for what happened leading up to that.
Lied to Mr. Feaster, so Mr. Feaster would lie to the court.
Your Honor, I think Ms. Fong Fachan understands that pretrial release is a matter of grace, and that for her to remain on pretrial release, she has to demonstrate to the court that she is going to comply with her bond conditions. She has had a turbulent journey on her bond so far. She's had several violations. There are renewed violations. She admits to all of those. She would ask the court to
including that the THC cookies, the time-released THC cookies was a lie?
Ms. Fong-Fachan understands that that story is not feasible, that when you
Really?
inspect the claim that was made at her first probable cause conference, that it doesn't make any sense. And she'll admit that today to the court, that a number of things she said leading up to this have not made sense and have turned out to be false. And when a person, anyone puts himself in that position, you have to tell lies and lies and lies to kind of undo what you've done so far. I think Ms. Fong-Fachan wants to ask the court for a clean start, to come clean as to.
I thought we did that the last time. This is almost the same spiel I was getting last time, right before she got out and on film dragged.
Right.
God only knows why you'd be mixing anything with Red Bull, but what the heck?
Understood, Your Honor. And she did drink. There's a video of her doing it. She doesn't
Oh, yeah,
deny.
there is.
And what she's going to ask the court to consider is continuing her bond, upwards modification, that she be placed on a other to monitor alcohol use, that she submit to ETG testing to monitor her alcohol use, and that she cease using social media while this case is pending. Ms. Fong-Fachan is serious about resolving this matter. She's serious about taking care of her two children. Her daughters, Maddie and Ayana, have upcoming birthdays on the 28th of March and on the 2nd of April. I know
So it'd
she
be
wants to be there
horrible
for
if she's in jail on their birthday.
them. It would, Your Honor.
But it doesn't seem to me that she was really caring about them all this time anyway.
No,
Because she would have never put herself in the jeopardy that she's in right now.
of course, Your Honor. I know her children are her primary concern more than anything else, that she's asking the court in a final act of grace to permit her to remain out of custody, continue her bond with those modifications, comply. And Ms. Fong-Fachan can address the court and come clean about any violations of bond leading up to today.
Go ahead. What does she want to tell me? Mr. Allen.
I just wanted to apologize for starting off with a bad start with you. I hope that start over. I did my time for bond violation for 2 weeks. I messed up the first week the second week you revoked my phone privileges. I learned my lesson. I had some time to think about what I've done, and when I figured it out, I did have that cup of alcohol on the podcast. I truly thought that it was just no smoking weed, but I didn't know alcohol was a problem. But now I know. I do not have an alcohol problem. I was just drinking.
How am I supposed to know that?
You don't. You don't.
That now you've learned your lesson.
I know.
Tell me how I should know that.
I know that anything that I say, you probably won't believe because we started off badly.
Oh, and you lied.
Yes, Your Honor.
Not just little lies, big lies. Every step you've gone, you've been lying. So tell me why I should believe you now.
I don't have a reason or any excuse to argue with that. I understand.
Your Honor, I think Ms. Fong-Fachan knows it's not about what she says, it's about what she does. And what she's done leading up to this has not instilled confidence in the court that she's going to comply. We're asking the court to give her an opportunity to demonstrate that she's going to comply with the court's orders and perhaps present herself as a candidate for at the conclusion of this case.
I know you're upset at me.
Oh, I'm not upset because I definitely get to go home today. So I'm not really upset. Go ahead. What did you want to say? You just think this is all a game. That's what your problem is. You do. You think this is all a game.
I can say definitely I didn't take it seriously the first week. The second week after I stayed in, I had a lot of time to think.
About what?
About, my actions before, during, and now after the fact, even having a drink. And I guess if you want to put me back in jail, I deserve it.
Yeah, you do. You have a CPL?
Yes.
Lost it. You know why?
Not really.
Smoking and have a CPL. That's probably another form you lied on. How bad do you want to make this get, young lady?
Can you say that again?
How bad do you want to make this get? Because if you want to take this thing and make it the worst experience you ever had in your life, I'll be more than happy to indulge you.
I don't.
So whose rules are we going to play by?
Yours, Your Honor.
Absolutely. Problem is, I don't know that you know how to do the right thing. I think somebody that lies as much as you do about everything, it seems, and just kind of does what you want to do. Because you've probably been doing this your whole life. And that's why you can't change.
May I have the opportunity to say a couple of things?
Oh, absolutely. I'm sorry, Ms. Hughes.
I appreciate this, Your Honor. Your Honor said something very interesting. You've probably always been this way, so that's why it's so hard to change. This behavior is exactly what this case is about. She's charged with R&O. She's charged with malicious destruction of a building. She went to her ex-boyfriend's business and kicked his front door of his business. The police arrived and she immediately started lying to the police that she had just got there, that she hadn't kicked in the front door, that she didn't know what was going on. The police wanted to conduct their investigation, so they asked her to just wait in her car. That's all they asked her to do. And can you just wait in your car? And she took this as an opportunity to defy them rather than just listen to them. She told them, I'm not doing nothing. I don't need to go to my car. They asked her again, please go to your car. She decided to cut off Officer Cunningham, not allowing him to speak. She said, well, you can either wait in your car or you can wait in my car. She said, take me to jail, fuck it. Yes, go ahead, take me to jail. So I instructed her to put her hands behind her back, is what Officer Cunningham's report says. She then began to verbally and physically defy Officer Cunningham to the point that Officer Baldwin, another Ann Arbor officer, had to get involved. When Officer Baldwin approached, the defendant turned to Officer Baldwin and pulled her left hand away and said, "Don't make me swing on you," to a police officer. So yes, this is what she does. She lies and she wants to play by her own rules. So by continuously violating Your Honor's orders, this is just a game at this point. Your Honor, I'm asking that you remand her. I'm asking that her bond be revoked and that no bond be set at this time.
Mr. Warren Green.
Thank you, Your Honor. Ms. Fong-Fachan, as the court
And that sound you heard? That was consequences catching up in real time. What we witnessed wasn't just a bond revocation, it was the collapse of denial, arrogance, and manipulation all at once. From the start, Julie Fong Fan treated the court like a stage. Already out on bond, she lied repeatedly, ignored court orders, and even entertained an audience while under judicial supervision. Pre-trial release isn't a right, it's a privilege built on trust. And she broke that trust again and again. When the judge said, "You think this is all a game," it captured the entire case. Her casual tone, the smiles, the detachment, until the pattern of deception was laid bare. One lie stacked on another, until there was nothing left to stand on,